Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Be Your Own Hero Show. Hero is an acronym. It means helping everyone reach optimism. And also, as denoted by Rev Melissa, it also means high emotion radiates overflow. High emotion radiates overflow. Ashe. Ashe. So I'm your host. I'm Sekou Write. I am an author, and a motivational speaker. All right. So today we're doing a special treat for the show. I'll let you know about that in a minute. But we're doing a special thing for the show. Let me put this up before my mom yells at me. Let me put up my banner. My banner has my name on it, SekouWrite.com. There it is. There it is, right there. SekouWrite.com. Go to the site anytime you want to during the show or later, and give to me in honor of everything that I'm doing. June is my month of where I'm doing extra things. Well, actually, they're not extra things. I'm doing what I'm called to do, but I'm inviting you to come with me. I'm inviting you to call with me, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad we're doing this special thing because she can summarize it much better than I can. Can you believe that? Someone else can summarize my thing that I'm doing better than I can. I don't know why that is, but it is. So, all right. So let's see. Let me just do my quick run streak, and then we'll get into it. So run streak today was manageable. I did it today before the show. B King got me up and got me out, and I don't know why, but I ended the run really, really slowly. Like I still felt pain, and there's that. I still feeling pain, but I think maybe I didn't go far enough, or something. But maybe my body's trying to let me know that I need to create more space for more running. And I know I don't want to. I don't want to. But I think my body is preparing myself for that, So anyway, we did a quick 1 mile before the show, and I did it. And I did what I'm doing. I did what I'm doing. All right, so today we're doing a special day. We decided to host the show. To host guests on the show. Now, I've been wanting to do this since Ad Memorial. I've been wanting to do this, but I've been scared, and I don't know why I've been scared. I've had people on the show before. I've guest hosted Rev Melissa show. I've done all these things, but when it comes to my show, I've just been very scared of how it would look, and I don't know, but here we are. So our first guest is Reverend Melissa Moore Nobles, and we're going to just jump in with her. Oh, I got to do the drum roll. Oh, let me see if I can figure out how to do drum roll. All right, let's see if I can do it. I know Rev Mel can do it, but I'm going to try to do it myself. Okay, announcing Rev Melissa.
Hey!
I did it. Hey,
You got it. Hey, Sekou, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. So
I'm so excited.
You excited about what?
Just being here and doing this. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is really great. I don't, this came together like last night. We were just texting about something else. And I was like, when you going to be a topic on my show? You're like, tomorrow. I was like, oh, shoot. So we haven't prepared anything, but I thought I would want to start with asking the question that I really want to know for me, and hoping that me asking that question will jog jog someone else's memory. Like it will be relevant to someone else.
Okay.
So that's it. I want to ask you, at what point do you fight with? You hear the cat? Did you hear the cat? Yeah. So
Yes.
that's the cat. That's the cat. That's Nelson. So at what point do you fight with yourself about you feel yourself fighting? No, you feel yourself fighting against you, right? Like the negativity is fighting up against you. It's getting stronger. This is happening for me in terms of my life, in terms of my life since amnesia. There's more and more self that I'm discovering, and as I discover that more and more, I feel tension more and more. And so, how do I begin to fight more? Like, how do I, like, yeah, how do I fight more? Like, I'm supposed to be. I'll just leave it there. I'll leave it there. How do I fight more? How do I fight more?
Okay. So I know what you mean by fight.
Yeah.
And do more. So I can only answer that in the way that I do it for myself.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you're really, really good at, Sekou, is consistency. You're like awesome at consistency, right? About specific things. And one of those specific things, I don't know if it is as consistent as you running, is you know what words I'm going to say next. Your spiritual practice.
Uh, yeah. Oh man.
Whenever I'm working with people and coaching with them, when they're telling me about all the things going on in their lives and the obstacles and the barriers and the struggles and the fighting
Yeah.
against and all the things. The first question I ask is, so how's your spiritual practice? How's your daily spiritual practice? Because when we're consistent with those things, it gets reflected back to us. Right?
Right.
The world is just reflecting back to us what we're putting into it. And that makes it like as clear as day. So I'm looking at where in my life am I inconsistent? Where in my life am I kind of like wishy-washy? And I always start with my spiritual practice. So let us know that there's nothing to fight against. There is no fight here. Like there is no fight. No fight. There is no fight. Right? It's just the opportunity to make conscious choices for what it is that we want to invite more of into our lives. So if you want more fight, focus on fight and you'll get more fight.
Ooh. Bravo. Ooh, that's good.
Right?
That's good. Yeah.
Whatever you want, focus on that and you will receive that consistently, deliberately, intentionally. Right? What are you invoking into your life? So stop thinking about the fight. Don't give the fight any more energy. Because you know what? The fight really doesn't want to fight you. The fight is showing you something else.
The fight is showing you something else.
Yeah, and you determine what that something else is. So if you're not fighting, if you're not giving fighting energy, if you're like, there is no resistance here, what would show up in its place? So if there was no fight for you, Sekou, if there was like, there's nothing to fight against.
Yeah.
Right? As memories come, as all those things start to continue to come back into focus for you, you can hold it really lightly, like as a observer of, oh, like watching a movie. Oh, that was my life before. Isn't that interesting? Right?
Wow.
Like a sense of curiosity.
That's great. That's great. I just got to jump in right quick and say that seeing my life as a movie happens to me all the time now, because I recognize how I used to feel about something. And even if it's the same thing coming up, I recognize how I used to react to it then versus now. And I see it as a movie. Like how I react to it in the past comes up as a movie. It's like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, I wonder why I did that. And I keep using he to describe me. I mean, because he is so different than I am, and I can't understand why more people with strokes aren't expounding the same thing. You know, like why aren't more people with strokes talking about this? And I can't find it. But that's what I experienced. I experienced, seeing my life playing out on a movie. You know?
Well, let me offer, and this is just my perspective, because we've known each other for decades,
Yeah.
and we were really, really in the thick of things during COVID. You know, we talked every single day.
Wow.
And you were already on your journey of recovery before the stroke happened. You were already on that path. So it's not a surprise that post-stroke, you are having this experience of yourself that other stroke survivors may not be having, right? Because they might not have been in that recovery space, reaffirming the life that they desire. They may not have been on that part of their journey yet, but you were, and it has carried through post-stroke. It got heightened post-stroke, right? Like you really, really went there post-stroke.
Yeah.
But you had laid the foundation for yourself already prior to the stroke.
Yeah. I agree with that. And for the folks who are watching who don't know what Rev Mel's talking about, like I went hard in that I needed to do more. I needed to find, once again, the fight. I want to fight against what was laid out in front of me. What was laid out in front of me was a wheelchair and little things like this that were helping me, guide me a certain way. And I just had to decide I wanted to go a different way. And I had to fight. In other words, get myself up and doing things. Get myself up and doing things, and and fight in a different way. Fight in a different way. I think that's that's good. That's good.
Right. And even in the word fight, like what's the energy really? Like is it fighting energy for you? Like what's the feeling tone of when you say fight?
I don't know. I don't know what my feeling tone is. I think no, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So just carry that with you, your next meditation or when you're doing your spiritual practice, to just see like when you're feeling like you're fighting, at the moment when you feel like you're fighting,
Yeah.
Get in touch with the feeling. Because the fighting is what you're thinking.
Okay.
Right? It's not the feeling.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. That's helpful. That's helpful.
Okay.
That's helpful. And we helped Sean Holloway. Said I'd be needing this. We agree with you. We agree with you. We be needing this too. Yeah. So I just
what
did
else
an
you want to
interview.
talk about?
Yeah, no, right. So I just did an interview recently. I was interviewed by Rawls. Yeah, Rawls. And what's the name of his Stop, Drop, and Rawls. And Rawls, right? And so anyway, and he interviewed me, and I didn't know what to expect. And I just was like, oh, whatever. I do the thing, show up, and be surprised by whatever comes from me. Because these days I'm completely surprised by whatever comes from me, right? Different from being interviewed before the stroke. And so I got on, and we just got deep so quickly. We got so deep so quickly. And it felt like being on a phone call with a friend, right? Like we got so deep. It's like, yeah, man, I understand how you felt that way. And I wish I could remember the things that we talked about. I wish I could remember them like here, but he was so deep in terms of the separation between me and him. Like he caught me saying him, like referring to me as him. He was like, "What, you referring to yourself as him? And what? Tell me about that." And then I had to delve into that. Into that and talk about the difference between me now and me then, and how that's so different for people to understand, because I look the same. The same. I talk close to the same.
Yeah.
And people expect me to react the same ways to things I've reacted to before, and I'm like, yeah, And it's so weird because I don't know how to manage that. So I haven't been in touch with too many people because I'm trying to manage that. But I feel like I'm a different. I feel like I look like the same guy, but I'm very different.
Yeah, and I could testify to that, Sekou.
Okay, come on.
Because you are. I remember when I came to Nashville a couple of months after you had the stroke, right?
Yes.
And I'm always very comfortable around you, always. And then I realized he's so different. Like even though I didn't tell you, I was just like, oh my God, he's so different. Like different in the sense of more. Oh, give me the words. More of your authentic self. I call it like the pre-Sekou before the stroke. You you use humor a lot to cover up being vulnerable, and when things got a little sensitive, you would use humor, right, to not go there, right? And now you don't do that. It's like the walls are down. And I tell you often that you're so vulnerable. You're so open. And that's what the world needs more of. People need more people who are vulnerable, who are open to sharing their journey. Because if you go by what you see on social media, you would think there are no challenges, right? Everybody's running in the meadow, and everything is just hunky dory. But people are on a journey, and on all the journey there are things that happen. And something that happened with you was huge. And the way that you have chosen to be with yourself, it's not about how you're being with other people, it's how you're being with yourself. And the way that you're being with yourself allows me to be with you in a more open and vulnerable way. So that's such a gift, Sekou. And I really don't think you get how much of a gift it is. How much of a gift it is. You still have your sense of humor, but what's been added to it is really just seeing your heart and your soul and your spirit in a way that we didn't see before.
I love you saying that, Rev Mel. I love you saying that about when you came to Nashville to support me, because that was early on. That was like a couple months in to this, what is now almost 11 months of me trying. And I didn't even know then, I didn't know then that I changed. but I just knew that I was doing things in a different way, and you hear that?
Mhm.
Okay, so let that pass. So what I couldn't realize, what I had difficulty with was this expectation that I was going to regain myself, right?
Mhm.
Like that I was trying to get back to who I was,
Mhm.
right? And then it became so weird for me. I needed the marathon. I needed the marathon because I needed to shift people's conversation about me over to this marathon thing. Oh, do you hear what happened with Sekou? Yeah, but he's running this
Mhm.
marathon thing. And
Mhm.
so it kind of kept topics of conversation away from me where I could kind of grow and heal and feel. And I'm still doing that. And it's so funny. I'm thinking like she will often reference something that I did before and my reaction to it. And I'm like, huh. And it's different because I'm like, oh, that's interesting that I had that reaction and I don't have that reaction anymore. But how do I tell her that I'm not having that reaction now? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like it's like I'm so glad that you saw it, Rev Mel, that you saw it as early as you did, because I was still grappling with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hmm, like I remember you you doing yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing and being, like, in a
Yeah.
big way. I remember because I went to for your those of you who don't know, Sekou ran the marathon last year in New York City 4 months after having a stroke,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
Like, take that in. And
Yeah.
so I went to Nashville to go get him, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Let me go fetch him and
Right.
bring him to New York,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And as I'm going there, all my reference is Sekou as I knew Sekou to be. And then there were some points in times where I felt like, and this might not have been, but I felt this way. I felt like you were trying to make me feel comfortable with you, right? And and so you would do these silly things and it was fine. But I
Right.
felt like, wow, I hope I'm not like pressuring him in any
Mm,
way
mm,
to perform
mm,
as the old Sekou, if you will. Right. I
mm,
really wanted to just be present with you with
mm,
your presence now,
mm.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think when you know someone a long time, there's a mourning that happens when something happens, right? And they are a different the relationship is different because they're evolving, they're growing, they're healing. And in a lot of relationships, there's a separation that happens
Mm.
because the person that's on that healing journey that's been accelerated. Make no mistakes, y'all. The stroke has accelerated Sekou's healing. Okay? And all right.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so the person who is kind of watching this happen might start to feel left out or might start to feel whatever they're feeling, and there could be a separation and the relationships can end, right? So that
Mm,
could be in friendships, that could be in love relationships. you know that happens a lot when there are these huge life events. And I had to say to myself, like, I want to be there for you. So whatever
mm.
this new you is, I'm riding with it, right? I'm riding
Wow.
with it. So I was very careful about, like, I was always watching what I was saying to you because I didn't want to trigger any memories that maybe you don't want to remember.
Mm,
Right?
mm. Yes. 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 I just got to pop in right there. What's been challenging for me is people. I didn't even realize you did this until now. until we're just speaking right now that you did this. But people, when they find out that I have amnesia still applied to certain things, they will rush to give me information. And then I'm like, whoa, wait. I don't want that. I don't want that. But there's this rush of things. Give this. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't want any of that. I don't even want any of that because it's shaping how I'm moving, And so that's a very important thing. Like, I've had to limit some of my time with some people because I can expect that now. Like, oh, wait a minute now. She's gonna give me some things. I gotta be careful with those things, And because I don't remember. I really don't remember. And so what happens is, for those of you who don't know, is I will be introduced to a person, place, or thing, and then when I'm introduced to it, then it blossoms, right? But before then, there was nothing. There was no memory of it. And so I was much lighter, I was much lighter in my movements and my exercises. But now I'm these people are adding things on, and so that makes it harder. Yeah.
And I just made that decision that I just want to be respectful of your pace, and not because I could give you a book of memories, because we have a book of memories, right?
Yeah.
Like, I could recall, I was at a festival, and a couple of people that we know mutually would come up to me and ask about you, right? And say, "Oh, I'm going to call him," or all these things. And I'm like looking at them, like saying to myself, "He don't know who you are." And so I would shut it down. I would be like, "Well, no, like, check his social media. We're doing updates there. I'll let him know that you asked about him, stuff like that." But I was doing my best to, like, no, like, block
Bless
that.
you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Yeah, that's
Or
been great.
I called Sekou and he hasn't called me back. And I'm like, yeah, he had a stroke and he has a lot of stuff going on right now. So just give him a minute, right?
Yeah.
Like, back up.
Yeah. I don't even know where to begin with that, but thank you so much for letting me know this about us, that you did all these things for me, and recognizing how helpful they were in this moment right here, recognizing how helpful they were, because I was doing some cartooning to make you feel comfortable when you were here, but I didn't really feel it though. I was like, I'm doing this, but I don't really feel like it. Like, I just needed to zone out, to just chill. And then when I finally got there, like, that made me feel so much better about how we were interacting. And that really made me feel better. That really made me feel better.
I'm so glad.
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
it.
Well, you got a lot of comments here, Sekou.
Yeah. Inspiring and wait a minute. There we go. Inspiring and authentic conversation. Watching from Geneva. Wow. From Geneva.
All right, wow. Geneva.
And please say great interview, and make no mistakes is powerful. And let's see. Let me see if I can get Linda. Though you are not consciously aware of it, your brain is busy making new pathways. It is working around areas damaged with the stroke. Your body knows how to heal. Boy, Linda be coming with the good ones. Boy. I gotta screenshot that.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You know what, Sekou, that just made me think about? Originally, we was going to talk about this thing that I had texted you from Bob Roth, right? Thoughts are not a barrier to meditation. And we was like, oh, well, we could talk about that tomorrow, right?
Right.
But this was the other part. The body heals itself in rest. Rest and release. We don't grumble against thoughts. Something good is happening. Thoughts are not a barrier. So that's what Bob Roth said yesterday in his pre-TM talk. And when Linda talked about new pathways, right? And you talk about that you're fighting, like, what do you do with this fighting energy? I would say to you, more rest.
More rest.
And your transcendental meditation. Because the
Yeah.
body heals itself. It's releasing stress. And it doesn't matter how many thoughts we have. Thoughts are an indication of the release of stress, if we could get that, right? So,
okay.
Fighting energy, transcendental energy, because you are transcending.
Okay. Okay. And for
Yeah.
those of you guys watching at home, get into your morning practice. Get into your morning practice. Get into your morning practice. I can get back into mine. Get into my morning practice for sure. All right, now we've run over time already, so we're going to do this again, Rip Mal. We're going to do this again. This was really great. This was really great to do this without a plan. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the sit down with me and Rep Mel. And you're about to watch Rep Mel again at 10:30 a.m. So check her out. All right.
Everybody.
So be your own hero. All right. Later.